This is Rio of Madison Rising, and you're watching MaxSpeedTV.
Welcome, race fans. We are here for race 15 of the Rick Bell's Custom Rigs Xfinity Series, live at the virtual homestead. Of course, here on the mics tonight for MaxSpeedTV, I'm Gary Wells, alongside Ryan Branshaw and Scott Rambler, bringing you the season finale. And boys, tonight I think we are in for a pretty good race.
Yeah, I have to agree with it there, Gary. Looking at the pace on the field, everybody seems pretty close together, and I think we're going to be looking at a pretty tight run coming here to the end of the season.
Yeah, I got to agree with that. They're all looking on track right now in practice. There's a lot of moves being made, a lot of too wide I see out there, but I think the big story here is going to be the tires, how well you can manage those tonight.
Yeah, tires for sure, and even a little bit of strategy. We saw that last night in the truck race. Of course, Scott won the truck race last night. How big of a strategy do you think is going to be key here tonight, Scott, for anybody to win this race?
Honestly, it's really going to come down to how many green flag runs we're going to get. If you're able to really save your tires, you can stretch out a fuel run by a whole lot and really make the use of that time on track to really whittle those laps down. But if you're seeing a lot of cautions, these guys that are going to be a lot faster on the short runs are going to come into play, and they're going to be really strong those first 10, 15 laps of the run. So it's going to depend on how these guys race tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I forgot to mention in my intro there, Joshua Medlock is, of course, running cameras here this evening. But I'm going to go over. Does anybody have the driver points? Do you guys have the driver points? If not, it's okay. I can go over our chase standings here. Coming into tonight's race, in the first position, we've got Cameron Hearn. He's got 1,186 points here coming into tonight. 10 wins on the season, 12 top fives, 13 top tens. Second place, we've got Bryce Sinisak. He's got 1,158 points. He's 28 points behind our leader. In third place, we've got GT Hawkins. He's got a couple wins this season. He's got 1,150 points, 36 back of Cameron coming into tonight. Fourth place, Ed Morris. He's got 1,144 points. He's 42 back of our leader. And really, this is where it comes down to being mathematically eliminated. Fifth place, Alan Elwood. He's 47 back. He's got 1,139 points. Sixth place, Willie Nelson. He's got 1,030. He's 56 back of our leader. In seventh place, we've got Nicholas Roman. He's got 1,130, and he's 56 back. 58 back is going to be Austin Hill. He's got 1,128 points. In ninth place, we've got Darren Bruce. He's got 1,025. And in 10th place, we've got Scott McClendon. He's got 1,092. He's 94 back. And then in 11th place, we've got Garrett Heath. He's got 1,051. He's 135 back. And rounding out our chase grid is going to be Zach Willard in 12th. He's got 1,048 points. He's 138 points back of our leader, Cameron Hearn. So really, I don't want to say Cameron's got a lot of tonight, guys, but it's pretty much a done deal for him.
Yeah, about the only chance that Bryce Senizak is going to have at Cameron Hearn, and I really hate to say this for anybody else, but the only way I could see GT Hawkins or Ed, I wouldn't even say Ed Morris is in it, but the only way GT Hawkins would be able to get anywhere near Cameron Hearn or Bryce Senizak would be if both of them wrecked out on lap one, because that would give, at this point, I believe, just over like 15 points or so. And the max that you can actually get from a race, I believe, is 45 points. You have to have qualified in the top 12, led the most laps, and end up winning the race.
And going incident free as well. So a lot of different points there. I think it's like 45 or 40 something like that. I think you hit that right on the head there. One more thing I want to address here before we play the national anthem. We've got the pre-race analytics to go down here this evening. We got 144 laps, 216 miles here this evening at Homestead. That fuel window is going to be anywhere roughly 37 to 42 laps. Could be less than that. Kind of depends on how these guys save their tires. That tire window, we've addressed it. 10 to 12 laps. Going to be pretty tight here this evening. Really, I think these drivers are going to be complaining for tires after about 2 or 3 laps. What do y'all think about that?
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, go ahead.
No, we've seen the tire wear go down like every series. I think ARCA was about 20 laps. Last night it was about 15, 20. And tonight it's only going to be about 10. I don't see them going very long on these sets of tires. The fall off has been crazy, and I think the faster the car, faster laps you're turning, the more the tires are going to burn off tonight.
And with that accelerated tire wear, something that we could be looking at is somebody further down the grid may actually come into play here as the race goes on if we start getting these long runs. 2 to 3 tenths of a second. If you look at the timetable, the fastest at a 37.2, we could be looking at somebody that's running just outside the 33s, such as Garrett Grant, could come into play later on if he's able to save his tires and start making a run up there.
Yeah, and historically, Garrett Grant has been really good here at the Homestead Miami Speedway. He's always been fairly competitive here. Won the Cup race here last season, but we'll get to that tomorrow night. But if we get long enough runs, I could definitely see this playing out as a fuel mileage race as well. One of these guys here back into the top 10, maybe somebody like a Tommy Haynes or a Garrett Grant, David Elliott maybe, can really stretch that fuel run and an extra 5 or 6 laps, and that could be the difference on that last run between finishing 10th and finishing 1st. But we're going to get ready here for the national anthem. We're going to go ahead and play that. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back.
we are the brave. We'll fight you in name, the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save, this land of the brave, the US of A. Oh, say, just that star, spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land of the brave, and the
All right, folks, welcome back. Thank you for tuning into that national anthem there. Qualifying has started for a lot of our drivers here. They get 5 minutes for qualifying, preceded by a 15-minute drivers meeting. And really, track position here, guys, I think is going to be very key here tonight.
I'd agree with that. The run down into 3 is going to be where it's going to get the tightest here, because trying to get the right kind of roll through the center of the corner to get that run off down the front straight and into the wide 1 and 2 is going to be absolutely key. But there are multiple lanes of racing here. It's just so hard to find the speed for the way the tires are wearing at the time, depending on what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. And Ryan, as a driver here for qualifying, how do you normally execute it? Are you running the bottom and the corners both laps, or do you have one lap where you're just running up against the wall, running that high side to maybe create some extra momentum?
Oh, I'd definitely start by the high side, and then drive my second lap as hard as I could. Because, of course, as you come out of pit road, your tires are still cold. You don't have the grip to really run that bottom, and you're most likely going to get loose on the bottom. And so it's first off just to make sure you get some heat into your tires, and then second, it builds momentum. So I would definitely, if I was out there tonight, I would definitely run the top for my first lap.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing the time starting to roll in here. We got Cameron Hearn. He's fastest now with a 32.81.4. And then we got a tie for second, it looks like, here between Ed Morris and Garrett Grant. Let me check my ATVO here. Yeah, we got a tie for that with a 32.83.4. So 2 100ths off of our pole sitter, but still a tie there for second. Pretty cool. And, of course, the top 12 does get that qualifying point. Looks like Todd Cray is the last driver in position for that right now. Actually, he just got bumped there. Oh, we just got another bump here with Bryce Sinisak running a 33, and now they're all getting bumped. So, but we got some team points to go down here this evening. I've got all of them, so we'll just go ahead and go over them here. This is just the Xfinity team points coming into tonight's race. First place, we've got the Virtual Racing Alliance, VRA. They've got 16-13. Second place, Primetime Motorsports with 13-45. Third place, we've got East Coast Motorsports with 12.82. Fourth place is going to be Samson Motorsports with 10.31. Fifth place is going to be 4X Racing. They've got 9.53. Then in sixth place, it's Kickin' Asphalt Racing with 9.12. Seventh place is going to be Evans Wells Racing with 8.55. And rounding out the field is going to be BDE Legacy Esports with 3.49. I think pretty much here, guys, it looks like to me VRA, with Cameron's 10 wins on the season, has pretty much got the Xfinity Team Championship locked up.
Oh, yeah. 300 points up on Primetime. I don't think anybody's going to have anything for that tonight.
Yeah, absolutely not. Well, tomorrow night, of course, we're going to crown our overall team champ. I've got the overall team points from earlier. This was as of the truck race last night. Of course, VRA is back on top with 44.99. In second place, it's Primetime with 42.77. East Coast Motorsports with 41.42. Fourth place is going to be Samson with 36.40. Then it's going to be Evans Wells Racing with 32.94. Then it's Kicking Asphalt Racing with 31.51, 4X with 27.13, and then rounding out the field, it's going to be Legacy Esports there with 12.80. So qualifying is officially over. These guys are driving up into the drivers' meeting here. Jacob Lee is going to have some things to say to these drivers. What do you think? And what have you guys experienced? Of course, I'm a racer too, but what have you guys experienced in league racing when you come to a championship run? What do they normally say in that drivers' meeting?
Well, what it comes down to is you're always going to have the, hey guys, listen up, look for the guys with the blue spoilers or whatever color that they have for the spoilers in this particular series. Remind yourself, these guys are running for a championship. They're trying to race clean. They want to make it to the end of the race and get as many points as possible. So don't necessarily give them the position, but just remember, if you're in that same position next season and somebody races you hard, or you race somebody that's in the chase hard, just remember that might come back around to haunt you next season. So don't race anybody too terribly that's racing right now. It could come back around to get you.
Yeah, and from our time working together, Scott, as a spotter and driver, we definitely know that you don't forget anything.
I am an elephant. I forget nothing. I am also fat.
And this is when it all goes downhill, Josh. No, just kidding. Ryan, what about you, bud? What did you? There he is on the mic. Ryan, what did you experience in the ARCA race on Monday night in the drivers' meeting?
Well, I mean, same thing he said. I guess my mentality was, hey, it's the last race of the season. Next season's going to start up in about a month, so you definitely want to end on a high note. I wasn't in the chase, but of course, you don't want to be the person. You don't want to be the reason that somebody doesn't get a championship out there. So, you gotta, the guys with the red spoilers out tonight. I would race them with respect. I think the field will race them with respect, and I hope they will. But that's what the admins usually told us too. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And Scott, it was a little different for you last night, leading half the truck race. Was there anything? Did you race the chase contenders any different? I know you really weren't around a whole heck of a lot of them, but what was it like for you last night, working your way up through the field, knowing that there were chase drivers ahead of you?
Well, the nice part was I was one of the chase drivers, so
that's right.
Our little group that we had there at the front of the points, all the fast guys in the truck series, have all raced around each other for a while. We can go door to door. We know how hard we can push one another. So the issue wasn't so much with the chase drivers themselves. It was how we were going to interact with everyone else. And last night, I would say, went about perfectly. Some of the guys got caught up in a couple of issues because they got dropped back in the pack and people wrecked in front of them. But other than that, everybody was giving each other a ton of room. There was plenty of communication between lap cars, lead lap cars, people that were on old tires and new tires, especially as the green flag runs went on. That was absolutely paramount because it doesn't sound like much. Oh, he's got new tires or old tires. That makes a difference of nearly 2 seconds a lap. To put that in perspective with somebody, it's almost like the other car is running about 60 mile an hour faster than you are into the entrance of the corner. And if they're not able to predict where you are going to be, then they'll just flat run over you because they're not going to be able to stop in time. So communication is definitely going to be paramount here tonight, and it definitely helped out a lot last night.
Yeah, and even with the multiple group racetrack like Homestead is, sometimes you just kind of forget that, hey, there are drivers that go into the corner a certain way, and whether you have new tires or old tires, it's just, like you said, just a simple, hey, I've got new tires, get out of the way. Just something along those lines. But we do have some trends. Scott, do you got those for me there from the last couple of races here at Homestead Speedway?
I do. In the past 3 seasons, We have had a grand total of 5 cautions, 3 races, and all of those came in season 13. So 2 of the last 3 races running for 200 miles went caution free. That would be excellent tonight. Really let these guys showcase their skills and their ability when it comes down to strategy. And with the way these cars are handling, there's a possibility that might be able to come out tonight.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. Another one of those, kind of average start position, 13th place. So you could navigate through this traffic pretty good. Like you said, with the two races caution free, that's outstanding. And just the last 2 of the previous 3 winners have led the most laps, and Homestead, with the lack of leaders and lead changes, it's kind of showing here on the trends, Scott. I'm looking at them here with you. It really shows how hard it is to pass here and what track position means at this racetrack.
Right. And something that we also have to take into account, the last 3 seasons were run on the older tire model. So the tires didn't fall off nearly as bad as they do in this current one. So I think what we're going to see is we're going to see a lot more lead changes, especially if this race gets to going green, because of the way the tires are going to fall off. The guys that pit early are going to have those newer tires earlier. They're going to be able to make up a lot more time on the guys that stay out, say another 10, 15 laps, and they're going to be able to get out there and lead a little bit before their tires fall off and they end up falling back to where they were.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, definitely. I've noticed with this tire model, heat is really an important factor in pushing that right front early. You don't want to do that. But if you happen to do that, that's when you lose a lot of time. You're right, after about a 5 to 10 lap run. So a lot of comers and goers are definitely a good possibility here this evening. I'm looking here at the qualifying results. I know those have been in for a couple minutes now, but looks like GT is going to be starting on the pole here. GT Hawkins in the 14. And Mike Rominger, he's going to round out our front row here tonight. So 2 good guys right there. Trying to see if Mike made the chase. JT is the chase driver here. He's starting out on the pole, trying to make a statement. He's 3rd in points. I mean, really, at this point in time, looks like the only place he could really go is up to 2nd and get around Bryce Senesac. We see Bryce, he's starting back in 18th. So definitely this field, wide different ranges. We're starting to see who's really good at Homestead and who isn't. Because really, in a lot of leagues, a lot of oval NASCAR leagues, Homestead's the final race.
It all comes down to this right here at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Well, since looks like these drivers are out of their driver's meeting, Josh, why don't you go pull up our pole sitter, GT Hawkins? And I believe Ryan is caught up with GT. Go ahead, Ryan.
GT Hawkins got a copy. GT Hawkins, you got a copy?
Well, let's pull him down, Josh. Let's find someone else. What about Brandon Freeze? Go ahead, pull up Brandon. We'll have Ryan interview him still.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon Freeze, you got a copy. Brandon Freeze, you got a copy.
Nobody wants to talk to us
All
tonight.
right, okay.
Yeah, do we got cooties or something?
All right. Well, let's pull up somebody that always wants to talk. Everybody knows who I'm talking about. I'm going to let you go ahead and interview him, Ryan. We're going to pull up the driver of the 91 car, Blair Patterson.
Blair Patterson, you got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, man.
All right, so tonight you're starting 22nd place. How are you going to move up this field tonight?
I didn't know I was starting that far back. Thank you for the bad news.
Sorry.
I screwed up my lap in qualifying pretty bad, but I got a really good Ford Mustang out here tonight, South Point Hotel Casino, Little Bear Cookie Car, it's a really fast car. So just patience and get up there and save the tires and be there at the end is a big thing.
Yeah, for sure. Last night you were running up front a lot, and it seemed like your tires were falling off. So do you plan on, of course, managing your tires more? Like, will that be um, something higher up that you're going to have to worry about tonight?
Yeah, I plan on learning from last night and saving tires a little bit earlier. So hopefully got something for them at the end.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, best of luck to you tonight. Any sponsors you gotta thank tonight?
Other than my favorite ones, the South Point Hotel Casino, Little Bear Cookie Company. I'd like to thank Rick Bell for putting this on and everybody over at Extreme, all the admins, and everybody at MaxSpeedTV.
Awesome. Well, best of luck to you tonight, Blair. And hey, hopefully we see you at the end.
That's the game plan. Hopefully talk to you after the race, bud.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks a lot, Blair. Good luck to you, buddy. All right. Well, Josh, let's try one more time. GT Hawkins. Let's try to pull up our poll center. GT Hawkins, you got a copy?
Yeah, I hear you, Gary.
All right. Hey, bud, you're starting on the pole here tonight. How's your car feel out there in practice and all that?
It's really tight. You know, I mean, and there's a really thin line between getting in the corner too hard and too easy. You know, I think you probably want to err on the side of coming in too easy if you're gonna be off. But yeah, it's actually kind of technical. I'm excited to see how the cars handle as the run goes on and tires wear off, because they will quick.
Yeah, speaking of those tires falling off, you know, here at Homestead, it does produce a lot of multiple lanes. We're kind of seeing that everybody's running around that first seam, not quite on the white line, but a little bit above that. Do you see the groove moving up at all further from that tonight, or is everybody just pretty much going to be fighting for the same piece of real estate?
Yeah, honestly, I have no idea. I mean, I haven't a clue. I tried running different lanes in practice, and I just couldn't find any other speed besides the bottom. But who knows, when tires wear down, maybe that top lane. I don't think probably in 3 and 4, maybe 1 and 2, but I think someone could get it working.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to wish you good luck from here. Anybody else? You got any questions for GT before we let him go?
Just best of luck to you tonight.
Good luck, GT.
Thank you. Have a
All
good
right,
night,
bud.
guys.
You too. You will catch you here later on. Good luck tonight.
Thanks.
All right. Well, I think we got time for one more. What do you say, Josh? All right. Who do you guys want to pull up? We kind of got somebody in the back. We got our pole sitter. Who do you guys want to pull up?
Let's go middle of the pack. Let's go 15th place, Gary May.
All right, go ahead and pull him on up, Josh. I think he's in prime time.
All right, let's go ahead and get him up here. All right.
Scott, you're going to interview him.
Scott,
All right.
go ahead. There he is.
Gary May, Scott up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
How's it going tonight, brother?
It's going good.
All right. Looks like you're going to be rolling off 15th, about 2/10 off the pole pace. That's nothing to worry about at the moment. Have you got any strategies you think you could get you up to the front?
No, I don't know about up to the front, but I'll just take my time and see how it plays out.
Yeah, the way this track has trended the past couple of days, the people that have really been able to conserve their tires at the beginning of the run has paid huge dividends later on. How have you been feeling on the longer runs?
Longer runs, I'm good. I typically take my time and try to save my tires and catch guys. Let them go at the beginning and catch them on the back end of it.
All right, so Gary May feeling pretty confident tonight. Hopefully we're able to see you up here later on the night at the end of the race. Good luck to you, brother.
Thank you, sir.
All right, and that is Gary May driving for prime time. We all know this, or at least Scott and I do. He's not the fastest guy, but he's definitely one of those guys. Late in the race, he can definitely squeeze out that top 10 or get pretty close to it.
Absolutely. He's one of the guys that just kind of sits back there just outside the top 10. He'll sit there and chill for a while. And if you get a wayward caution or something odd happens, all of a sudden he's just right there ready to break inside the top 10 and really be able to contend for a really good race. So we could see him up there later tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we got 10 seconds till the grid, so you know what that means coming up here in about 5 seconds. We've got that Max Speed TV starting grid as these guys are getting ready for the last race of the year. All right, and with that Max Speed TV starting grid, we've got GT Hawkins starting on pole here this evening. Second place, we got Mike Rominger. Third place is going to be Alan Elwood. Fourth place is going to be Cameron Hearn. Fifth place, Paul Irvin. Sixth place, Tommy Haynes. Seventh place is going to be Ed Morris. Eighth place is going to be Garrett Grant. Ninth place, Chris Seidenfaden. Round out our top 10 is going to be Austin Hill. Scott?
P11, we're going to have Willie Nelson. P12, Brandon Freeze. 13th, going to have the 12 of Michael Thwaites. P14, Nicholas Vroman. P15, Gary May. 16, Logan Kais. 17, Jeffrey Creek. 18th, Bryce Sinisak. 19th, David Elliott. And rounding out the top 20 is going to be Todd Cray.
Go ahead, Ryan. Round out the field.
All right, we got 21st, Casey Duncan. 91, Blair Patterson. Or 22nd, Blair Patterson. 23rd, Darren Bruce. 24th, Michael Atkins Jr. 25th, Danny Ware. And rounding out the field in 26 is Tom Emissy.
Close enough. And of course, shout out to our admins, Calvin Herring, Brent Cool, and Jacob Lee in the admin tower each and every week. And Rick Bell for sponsoring, of course, of this series. If you need a custom PC or just any PC parts or whatever you might need for your sim rig, he's definitely the guy to hit up. And of course, Rick Donathan for putting on such an awesome league as he does each and every single season. Gonna be an interesting race here tonight, boys. We're waiting on these cars to roll off here. I've got my keys to win. I think they're going to be pretty much the same for everybody else. Track position, your strategy, how is that going to pan out, especially if we get some long runs. And then, of course, managing those tires. We've been talking a lot about tires here this evening. So, and, of course, can't forget, who's everybody's pick here?
All right. I have chosen to go with our P3 driver, Mr. Alan Elwood, in the VRA number 5.
And I have the 09 of Bryce Sinisak winning tonight.
And, of course, I think Josh has picked the same driver.
I am talking, and I have picked the same driver as Ryan here, Bryce Sinisak.
All right, and I have got Cameron Hearn. These drivers heading into turn number 3. Scotty, what do they say for the final time? He doesn't even know. Reach up there one more time. We're going to go ahead and let Joshua take it from here. He's going to open us up with, of course, the initial green flag here. Take it away.
All right, well, GT Hawkins on the inside here. Mike Rominger on the outside. 3 and 4 here coming to the start of Homestead. Round 5 series finale for the Rick Bell's Custom Rigs Xfinity Series on MaxSpeedTV for XM99. Pace car dives off and away. GT Hawkins in control. Green is out. Buggity, 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 folks. We're racing again tonight at Homestead.
All right, very tight racing going into turn number 1. Pretty much everybody side by side except for our top 2. Coming off of turn number 2, looks like it's going to be continued of some side-by-side racing for second on back. I don't see any pretty wide yet.
Nope, we got a little bit of a stack up going into 3 from about 7th on back. Looks like the 17 didn't quite get as good of a run into 1 or a run out of 2 as we thought. As we got some spinning down the inside wall.
Good save by Seidenfaden.
Good save there by Chris there. Good job. Everybody keeps it clean and green here. Lap 2. And we're going to throw it up here on the MaxSpeedTV replay here for Chris Seidenfaden. Looks like he got loose off of 4. I don't think there was any contact between him and Ed Morris. I think it's just a product of those new tires, guys. Just getting loose, and right there, he's just able to make that save.
Yeah, these cars on the initial runs are very, very loose in the rear end. So going into 1 and 3 can get very hairy, especially if you get back to the throttle a little bit too soon.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're seeing Cameron Hearn go underneath Mike Rominger to take that 3rd spot away. Cameron's going to come up to the 3rd spot. Mike Rominger going to go back to the 4th position. Paul's been staying steady, but he's definitely got some heat coming from Ed Morse in the 7.
Meanwhile, all this is going on. The 14 of GT Hawkins has just pulled away from the 5 and the 15. Looks like he's trying to get a nice little bit of breathing room to start out this event.
Yeah, it looks like he's starting to check out a little bit on the field. Almost a second lead now as they come out of turn number 2 here. Like you said, everybody just trying to maintain their stuff. They've been out here, of course, the first 4 laps under green. Really not too many incidents out here on the racetrack.
From about first on back to 12th, now make it 14th. They're single file only. They're still 2x2 in the back. That might make
yeah, that's a big gaggle of cars back here, Ryan. I'm looking here. It looks like Gary May, not even Gary May. It looks like Tommy Haynes is leading this gaggle here. Gets a little bit of a breakaway after Logan, but it's just a big fight for 16th here between Gary May and Jeffrey Creek.
I think we hit the nail right on the head with the track position being a key to the race. Those guys obviously want to get up to the front before everything starts to settle down here, but that might cause a few problems back there.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a driver, you guys, how hard is it to make a pass here at this racetrack, especially being back in traffic like this where you're running to maybe single file or even 3 wide?
When it comes down to it, you have to plan your passes out. Maybe look for some sort of weakness that somebody has going through the corner. Say 3 and 4, they're getting in a little bit too hot each and every lap. Try to plan that out. Give yourself a little bit of space on corner entry where you could possibly stick the nose underneath them and just start feeling your car out to make sure that once you go into that position, you can get the drive off the corner.
Yeah, of course, it's not like a normal 1.5 mile track where the inside lane usually is the preferred line. You got to worry about off the corner. The guys on the outside are going to get a major run coming down the backstretch and may even clear you down the backstretch, and you might start to fall back.
Yeah, absolutely. You can get a really good run on the high side. It looks like we got a nice tight battle here for 11th between Brandon Fries and the 2. Nicholas Vroom Vroman. They're in the 95. These guys have been battling out here the last couple of laps. Been watching them here. Looks like Brandon's going to get that run on the high side like you guys have been talking about. But Nick is just able to keep it pretty even here through the center of the corner.
Yeah, but you can see not being able to open up to that wall on the outside allows the 2 to get that run off the corner. They just kind of go stagnant there. If they keep doing that for too long, all they're going to be doing is burning up their own tires and letting everybody behind start getting some ideas of getting around both of them.
Now, if you're Nicholas Rowland right here in the 95 and it's lap 8 of the race, how frustrating can this get when you're on the bottom lane and you think you're faster than the car on the outside?
Oh, any position in the race, if you think you're faster than them and you're trying to get around them, it's extremely frustrating to just go back and forth because you know you're going to wear out this stuff. As you see, he does clear Brandon off of turn 2 there, but it doesn't come without a cost. Definitely tire wear, that's in the back of your mind. You're thinking, the sooner I get around him, the less I'll be using up my tires and the more I'll have for somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like GT is still at about a 9/10 of a second. Almost a second lead on Alan Elwood here in second. Then, of course, we've got Cameron Hearn in that 3rd position. Paul Irvin has gone up from 5th to 4th. And Ed Morris rounding out our top 5. He's starting that 7th position in the 7th car. He's running that 5th spot right now. So it looks like pretty much everything's been staying stagnant here as far as our top 10. A couple of movers here. Looks like we got a battle here for about that 15th position between Logan Keiss and Jeffrey Creek here. Just a whole gaggle of cars back here, guys.
Looks like they're looking 3 wide around the 3 of Michael Atkins. He's going to be smart. Well, they might go 3 wide around Tom Cray. They're just teasing me now. They're not going to go 3 wide on lap 11 of the race. Yeah, but hey, I mean, like they're still trying to get that track position. I don't know how those tires are feeling right now, but it can't be good.
Yeah, so I went in and watched Blair's stream. He does stream, by the way, guys. So if you ever want an in-car camera view, one that's always entertaining is that 91 there, Blair Patterson during these races. He actually has a helmet and a fire suit on tonight. I was wondering why he was sounding like he was in a can earlier. He had a full face helmet on, and he was wearing an Arby's fire suit. He used to work for Roush back in the day on Matt Kenseth Busch Series pit crew, and he still has a fire suit. He can still fit in it.
We got 3 wide for Michael Atkins.
3
Jr.
wide.
3 wide,
Oh,
back
right,
to 2. Wow. Y'all looking at 3 wide, maybe with the 11 as well. All right, back to y'all.
Hey, that 91's
There
a
it
man of
is.
culture. Eating Arby's.
It looked like there was a little bit of contact there between the 91 and the 09. It caused the 09 to go up the racetrack as we see him come back down on the 19. Are they going to be 3 wide? No, they're going to just be 2 wide here. KC and everybody playing it smart back here. Danny's going to go into the inside of that 11 car. And Casey's usually pretty good at places like Homestead where it takes a lot of tire wear. We usually find him around the top 10 at some point in the race, don't we, Scott?
That we do, and something that I've been watching for the last couple of laps is a 24 car Garrett Grant. I don't know if he got in the wall or something, but he has been making his way steadily down the order, finally finding a place to rest in P11. He was running just outside of the top 5, if not in about 5th place, about 5 laps ago.
Well, I'm going back in here and looking at his at the right side of his race car. It looks like there is a little bit of damage. Looks like a little bit of right front fender damage there, so can't really see. Looks like he has hit that wall, and we know, Scott, in the Xfinity car, it can take a little bit of a beating, but you hit that wall too many times, and it's going to be just like that Cup car. It's just going to be pushing like a boat.
Right. Unfortunately, with the Xfinity car, you don't have the crutch of that new damage model that'll come in and basically fix all that, bring you right back up to speed, if not just a little bit slower than full speed. So once you make that kind of damage and get that front fender pushed in, you're basically screwed the rest of the race.
Yeah, that definitely can really mess you up. And if you get enough damage on the right front, or even the rear of the car with these Xfinity cars, it's like a parachute almost. You've really got to keep that car at the aerodynamics for 100% of the time for the whole race.
Yeah, especially reaching up to 180 miles an hour into the corners. Those aerodynamics do play a role here at Homestead.
Well, not to interrupt
like
you, Gary, but we've got a battle. Todd Cray has made his move on the 3. Coming up on the 43 of Logan Kice here, the 09 of Bryce Sidisek also making his moves. This is back around 18th.
Yeah, right around here, 17th, 18th position. I was about to mention that here. It looks like Todd is going to get the position. Logan all the way up against the wall. There's no rubber up there, Logan. Can't run that high yet.
But you can see he gets a huge run off the corner. Is going to look back to the inside of the 32. Doesn't quite have his nose there. I think he might have to back out of that one.
Yeah, he's got Michael to his outside now. Michael Atkins Jr. here in the 3 car. It's so weird seeing that Dale Earnhardt 3 on a 4. I can't even lie to you. But these guys are going to be side by side.
Oh my gosh, they're so tight here. I am unmuted here as well, so everybody can hear me too. They're so tight back here in the back of the field. The tires wore off, Gary, Ron, and Scott, so they cannot really break away from one another.
Yeah, it looks like in this particular package, once everybody's running so close in lap times, there's really nowhere to go. As we see Bryce, he actually has a little bit of rear end damage as we see Darren Bruce hit the apron there, upsetting the car just a little bit. But it looks like Bryce, not 09, he's got some rear end damage to that race car.
As they go 3 wide in the 1
wide.
around Logan
Whoa,
Kice. Logan
there
Kice
they
is going to
go.
get into the 19.
Oh, no! Caution!
By the 19.
No
Oh!
caution. No caution.
Let's go to a MaxSpeedTV replay as you guys, of course, keep an eye on that lead pack here. It looks like Blair having some major issues blinking here tonight. Going to be on Danny Ware in the 19 here this evening under the replay. Just,
And that's just a product here of Homestead.
yes.
3 wide racing gets a little tight, especially if the groove isn't 3 lanes yet. We kind of know how these drivers like to do it sometimes. Try to put
Right.
12 tires where there's only 4.
Ooh, right there it was. Yeah, definitely some contact from the 43 to the 19. Now, both of them do manage to save it, but it looks like Logan Kais is going to be on pit road, getting more damage than what he initially thought he had.
Yeah, and that right side of that MaxSpeedTV Ford, LK Designs Ford, is definitely all messed up right there.
All right.
All it takes is a little mistake. Somebody goes to make a move to your inside. You're already running side by side with somebody. We're going 3 wide again down the backstretch between Michael Atkins, Todd Cray, and Bryce Senesac. Bryce is going to make the smart move and back out into 3.
Yeah, Bryce is definitely one of those smart drivers. He finished pretty good in the Truck Series standings as well. He's coming in here tonight, second in points, 28 points behind our leader. As we're seeing, it looks like he doesn't quite have the speed as Cameron Hearn. So definitely going to be an interesting battle between him and GT, because GT's our leader right now.
And GT, in just the last 7 laps alone, has extended his lead out to nearly 2 seconds over Alan Elwood.
Yeah, it looks like he's been pulling him about a couple tenths a lap here, Scott. I've been watching the lap times as well with him, and he's got about a 2-second lead on Alan. It looks like there might be a battle brewing for 4th place here. Between, it looks like Ed was all over the back bumper there of Mike, but it's kind of fallen back. It looks like Mike's actually about to close in here on our 15 car of Cameron Hearn. Looks like Cameron's going to go down to the bottom and just let him go. It looks like Ed's going to let the 16 car of Austin Hill go by. Austin won the Truck Series championship last night, finished in the 2nd position, I believe, so... him with Scott winning the race, they did a cool little backwards victory lap last night as well.
Yeah,
and not gonna lie, that was probably one of the coolest experiences of my life. How many people can say they've done that with an actual NASCAR driver?
Not too many, but it looks like we got a battle here for 9th position. Looks like Tommy Haynes is going to pass Paul here for 9th. A couple of teammates here from Evans Wells Racing battling it out. Looks like Tommy's going to take that position and pull away here a little bit. Nice battle here for the 12th position, though. Brandon Fries and Michael Thwaites for 12th and 13th. These guys have not moved up any spots or lost any spots since we dropped the green flag here.
Well, they do have Jeffrey Creek, though, coming up on them, but I really think it's about, the tires, Gary, Ron, and Scott. I mean, this track, right, in these cars, they use the tires up so much that you've got to get that position.
Sorry about that.
That's fine. You have got to get that position within like 3 laps. If not, that's it.
I would actually say you have to get it a little bit quicker. If you're going side by side for even 2 laps, you're using up that right front and causing so much wear to it that it could actually hinder you later on in the run. Even something as simple as sending it in a little too hard on 1 lap could really make a difference 5 laps down the road on how your car is going to handle.
Yeah, because you get that heat into that right front. As we see Chris getting around Michael Atkins Jr. here. It looks like for the 20th position, 21st position here.
Yes.
Was able to really pull a slide out there. Got to see that. Now he's going to be setting his sights on that 32. Chris did qualify inside the top 10 here tonight, qualified 9th. So we know he's got a decently fast car, and it looks like there's not a whole lot of damage to that 45. So it looks like he still might be able to compete if he gets the right track position.
Now, going back to those tires, I was looking back here at the lap times of, say, like Todd Cray and all those cars who were in the big old battle from about 12th on back. His lap times are in the 35-second range, and just for reference, his fastest lap of the race was on lap 2, which was a 33.125. But if you look at GT Hawkins, he's still running about 34 sixes, and that's what's helping him pull away. Oh,
sorry.
Yeah. Yep, no worries. But you can, like you guys were saying, that right front, they put a bunch of heat into that right front tire and wore it out. But GT, who is in clean air, not battling anybody, he's got at least 4 tenths on him.
Yeah.
Ooh, 45 and 32 door to door.
Yeah, these drivers battling their brains out right now. It's only lap 28, and looks like Chris is going to clear that 32. Going to take Chris' 18th spot away.
As a 42 might be looking to take it 3 wide, backs out a little bit, and looks like he's just going to fall in behind.
Oh, Chris,
32 is a
45.
Oh!
Man, a lot of
doing that all race long, guys. We still got well over 100 laps to go here.
Yeah, still got quite a bit.
Oh,
It's a
Michael
3
Atkins.
sideways, a little bit of contact with the 11. Got it straightened back out coming out of 4.
Like Casey apologized for the contact there with the 3, so everything's all good with these guys here.
Looks like Danny Ware fighting here with KC Duncan. Go ahead, Scott.
So we were talking before the race. Our fuel window's looking to be about 40 laps. These guys have been running pretty clean so far, but there has been a little bit of sketchiness to some of the driving out there. A lot of the guys behind GT, I would say, have got to be thinking, do I want to pit a little bit earlier to try and get that undercut, to try and eat into that lead a little bit? Because if they pit even 5 laps earlier than GT does, they could make up almost 2 seconds a lap compared to what GT will be running right now. And that'll put them in front once everything cycles out.
So, Gary, I know you... Go ahead, Ryan.
I was just going to say, you might know a thing or two about that, Scott.
Well, Gary, I know you're going to have something to take on this, but, pitting early, right now, 3.5 second lead, GT Hawkins over Alan Elwood. We're coming upon, or will be coming upon, green flag pit stops here. So, I mean, could we see drivers come down early?
Yeah, definitely. I know we mentioned that pit window of about 40 laps, right? So I could see these guys undercutting it a couple laps sooner, maybe pitting around lap 35, 34, somewhere in there, maximum 37. But these guys that have been pretty much single file throughout most of our top 10, they're not really, they've been able to save a little bit of gas. These guys that have been battling here for, 12th, 13th, 14th, 20th, these guys have been using a lot more gas this first run of the race. So it's going to be really important that, these guys that have saved their gas in their tires so far, as we see Garrett Grant going to go around Ed Morris here, these are going to be side by side. I would be surprised if we see some guys pit here.
I know another big thing we talked about last night, getting on a pit road. I'm going to assume it's going to go green until these green flag pit stops start. But we saw some drivers having difficulties getting onto pit road last night, sliding it, maybe getting into the wall, maybe getting into other drivers. And that could pose a huge issue. So you could get damage. You could
we even saw an issue with teammates last night, Ryan, between Nicholas Froman and the 80 of Randy Kruder getting onto pit road.
Yep.
So to your point, yeah, I mean, pit road, since they took away having to go through the access road here, Scott, has that really been a big game changer as far as getting on and off of pit road here at Homestead?
Oh, absolutely. Instead of having to slow down, getting ready on the entrance of 3 to run on that flat part of the apron, we can carry that speed going through 3, and then we have to worry about that transition off the banking while you're trying to brake getting onto pit road. And we saw last night a couple times, we had somebody go into the tire barriers at the end of pit road because they got bounced the wrong way coming off the transition. So that really upsets the car. It's going to come down to car control and who's going to be way more aggressive getting down onto that pit road, and if they're going to be as aggressive coming off on that flat apron.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're seeing Tom Massey coming down pit road. He's going to start the cycle. He is 1 lap down now. Looks like Alan Elwood's going to be pitting. 2-car pit, I'm sorry, Gary May is going to be making a pit stop here. Ed Morris, I think the floodgates here, guys, are starting to open here at lap 36.
Yep, GT Hawkins, the leader, is on pit road right now.
11 of Casey Duncan also going to be coming down pit road here.
Green flag pit stops.
Oh, my ears.
Now you guys see what I put up with every week, right? So, no, we get because we care. But Austin Hill's going to be taking over the lead here as green flag pit stops have started. Cameron Earn in second, Garrett Grant in third, and Tom Tommy Haynes going to be in 4th, and GT's going to, oh, I'm sorry, Jeffrey Creek's going to be rounding out our top 5.
Yep.
As we're here in the 27 of Darren Bruce is going to be coming in pit road here.
It appears that the 9 of Mike Rominger and the 5 of Alan Elwood both opted to pit with GT, so they will be cycling out just behind him as GT is going to be coming off of pit road just in front of our leader, Austin Hill.
Yep, absolutely. And it looks like Blair Patterson's going to be making a pit stop here. It's going to be a struggle for the drivers to hear him tonight because he's got a helmet and fire suit on, so have fun with that one. Looks like the 09 of Sinisak, he's going to be coming down pit road here. I think I saw... Well, no, I don't think Brandon's getting ready to pit here yet. Just kidding.
I scared Jeff Glockner.
Well, I mean, he's been listening to some nice, soothing jazz here tonight, so...
Oh, just an example of those new tires. Look at that 9 blow by the 17 car from... I have to assume at least a half a second back. It's the tire difference. It's just, if you haven't grasped it yet, that's just a huge example of what new tires can do for you.
Yeah, but I also know for a fact that, and we know this, Scott, Tommy Haynes almost won the Cup race last year on a strategy like this, stretching out his tires and fuel as far as he can go. So we see Austin Hill on pit road here, stretching out, and Tommy almost won the Cup race last season if he would have just had an extra 10th or 2 of fuel left in the tank.
Yeah, but the chances of us seeing a strategy like that work tonight, I think, are going to be a little bit different. If we were still running the 137 laps, it might be a little bit different, but even if we were able to stretch 42 laps, that's only going to put you right about lap 126 for your final pit stop, which is going to give you about a half a stint to work with.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're seeing Chris Seidenfaden coming down pit road here. I'm kind of agreeing with you, especially with the new tire model. It was a different tire model too, so the heat and how hard you drove didn't matter as much. The 8 of Paul Irvin is going to come down pit road. But yeah, I mean, it's just really how you manage these tires here early on is really going to help you maybe even extend your fuel run even longer than what you want.
As Tommy's going to come around again to take lap 42.
Yeah, so these guys are on fumes right here as we see Garrett Grant on pit road. Tommy Haynes has not pitted. Neither has Brandon Freeze. Neither has Willie Nelson here. They've all stayed out. 2 car, I'm hearing, is going to come in and pit this time. 17 also going to be doing the same thing.
That's probably...
It'll leave Willie Nelson, I believe.
Yeah, and that's probably the best idea because we had in the ARCA race, the caution come out as green flag pit stops were going on.
Willie's going to be pitting. Sorry to cut you off here.
No worries there.
No, just kidding.
Carter Coop ran out of fuel as the caution came out, and he had to take an EOL, and that could be huge if, say, like a next time by, if the leaders choose to, or next run, at the end of next run, or at the end of this run, geez. But if they choose to stretch it and a caution comes out, that could shake up the field a lot.
Yeah, really can't. Willie's going to be the last car to make a pit stop here. It's going to cycle out the lead to GT Hawkins. Alan Elwood and Mike Rominger is going to be your top 3.
And to give you guys an idea of just how much getting onto and off of pit road makes a difference, GT Hawkins went into the pit cycle with about a 4-second lead. He has opened that up to nearly, what was it, about 7 seconds over Alan Elwood, who pitted on the same lap he did.
Yeah, pitting on the same lap, probably not the best idea if you're Alan Elwood. I would have waited an extra lap because that would have just upped me a little bit in the tire battle, so to speak. Because even 1 lap we've seen on tires, you can make up a lot of time as well. But yeah, it looks like GT's going to cycle out here with a pretty big lead. Looks like almost 6 seconds now over Allen. And of course, we've got Mike Rominger there in 3rd, Cameron Hearn in 4th. It looks like Ed Morris here is going to round out our top 5. These guys have been out off of their pit stops here for about 8 laps now. We're seeing Michael Thwaites drop back pretty significantly here. Well, guys, I mean, it's pretty spread out here. These guys have really been impressive so far. The first 46 laps run without any incidents, really, or any cautions. And everybody's pretty much all spread out throughout this field now.
Yeah, no cautions started out, which is a very good thing. We did have a few run-ins, of course, with people battling it out, and on cold tires, which we haven't seen, luckily, this run. But yeah, it's been clean. It's been a pretty solid race from these guys.
Yeah, it looks like Paul and Tommy Haynes, they're running 15th and 16th on that same tire strategy, about a 1 lap difference there. These guys here, they're ripping their way up through this field pretty quick. We're noticing even a 5 lap difference. These guys are picking their way through this field.
Right, and even as dominant as GT has been on those tires, look at Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson came out probably about a half a second behind the leader in the 14 car. And on those fresher tires, having been even probably about, I'd say, probably 2 laps difference, Willie is past the 14 and is now making his way back out through to try and put a gap between him and the leader.
Yeah, as he's back here in that 24th position, going to work his way around Blair Patterson. If you're GT, of course, with this field being spread out as the race goes on, lap traffic definitely going to be playing the key.
And this is where the pre-race drivers meeting came in. It's like, you got to remember, these guys that are racing for a championship, GT is one of those guys. Give them a little bit of extra room. Let off a little earlier into the corner than you normally would. Just be mindful of what these guys need to get done tonight.
Yeah, that respect factor there, as we see Cameron Hearn going to make his way around the 9 car of Mike Rominger. Cameron going to work his way up to that 3rd position. We're trying to see if there are really any battles going on around this racetrack. I'm not really finding any here.
GT going to split it 3 wide.
Going to send it right through the middle and show these guys what little bit of practice can do. Is they're going to go 3 wide again, trying to get around Tommy Amassi.
And that is not for position.
On the inside, very close.
Ooh. And 2 out of those 3 cars is for position. Blair and Tom were. Logan Keiss, not so much. Logan kind of struggling here this evening, running 7 laps down to our leader here. 8 laps down, sorry. Well, it looks like we got a battle brewing here for about that 13th position. Looks like we've got Bryce Sinasak, Paul Irvin, and Tommy Haynes. Of course, it looks like Paul and Tommy are on those newer tires.
I do want to make note, Gary, here that Blair Daddy Patterson and Tom Amassi is only 1 lap down. The last driver on the lead lap back here in 23rd is Willie Nelson.
Yeah, Willie is going to be getting some pressure here from GT, I think, here in a little bit. But, of course, Willie does have those newer tires, about 8 laps worth, so he's going to try to make a gap here, but going to be very, very difficult. And, of course, Blair and Tom Amassi here, they're going to be battling really hard for that lucky dog position if we were to get a caution.
And I'm just keeping an eye on the battle here that Paul Irvin and Tommy Haynes and Bryce Sinasak were having. Bryce has let those 2 go by and have filed back out the single file for that 15th position, or 13th position, I should say.
Yeah, 13th position. They're going to be running down Todd Cray here in a little bit. I don't think these guys here, of course, they're teammates, but I really don't see them trying to battle it out for themselves. I think they want to try maybe use a little draft together. I know Homestead doesn't play a whole lot to the drafting factor, but these guys here, I think Tommy knows that he's a little bit faster. He's going to get around Paul right here. But these guys working together a little bit, trying to catch up to that 12th place car there of Todd Cray.
Right, and Todd Cray, if I remember correctly, was one of the first cars to come down to get those new tires. He's going to be falling off very quickly if we continue to stay green here.
Yeah, he came in a lap sooner than GT Hawkins. So came in a lap before him, 2 laps before him actually. So it looks like our leaders, they're going to probably lap half this field here tonight just by looking at the pace and the intervals with a lot of these drivers here. Looks like Allen is going to be running into the lap traffic here of Tom Massey and Logan Keiss. Logan going to go all the way up against the wall as Allen's going to try to get around him here.
Alrighty, folks. Well, just letting everybody know, lap 72 will be our halfway mark as the 17 of Tommy Haynes does come down to the come into the inside of the 32. A battle back here now, Paul Irvin and Todd Gray, Gary. Now, Gary, Ron, Scott, man, we've been green flag here. Green flag pit stops. This has been a good race here tonight.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's been clean. It's been strategy's going to play an effect here. And, nothing but good things to say here.
Right, and as much as everybody loves to hear the phrase cautions breed cautions, I believe the green flag stints can also breed more green flag racing as everybody starts to settle into what their car's doing, what kind of strategy they want to run. And typically the only cautions we're going to see is if there's some sort of miscommunication between cars or if somebody makes a mistake.
Now, I'll agree with that. Gary, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, definitely for sure. I don't see we haven't really seen a whole lot of major mistakes here tonight so far. Knock on wood, we're seeing Austin Hill going to try to get around Ed Morris here for that 5th position as he's going to clear him going down into 3. But I don't think we're really going to see anybody make that mistake that'll cause a yellow. I think we'll see drivers make mistakes all night long, whether it's hitting the wall or whatever, but not really to where there's an incident.
It's always something weird going through a race after, especially in the truck series, once we would all get on that same pit strategy, we would all get really aggressive, knowing that track position would really help us later on, even if we did go green, but anticipating that there's going to be another caution would make us drive more aggressively. And whereas more green flag racing has the opposite effect.
But in return, do you feel like, at least at the beginning of this race here, as a driver, at the beginning of the race when they dropped that green flag, were you automatically anticipating the caution?
I would say potentially. I would say let it go out about 10 laps. Because that's a good idea to just sort of let you feel out your car, see what everybody else is doing. If somebody's being over aggressive, you can make the choice. Do I want to race them? Do I just want to let them go by? And it's something you just have to be able to see as a driver what's going on in front of you, who you got behind you, how aggressive they're running, and just making that choice.
Got a caution.
Caution is out.
Aaron Bruce kind of blinking out of my end. I don't know if
Casey Duncan, Michael Atkins Jr. From what I'm seeing here.
Yes, we're seeing Casey take the road course here, as we're going to see on the MaxSpeedTV replay.
Yep, we are on that, Gary.
Just some contact there, it looks like, between the 11 and the 3, going down to back straightaway.
All right, well, we are on the 11 here, the MaxSpeedTV replay here tonight. The first caution of the evening here this evening. Right there, it looks like the 11 might have came down just a little bit. And right into the 3, and that is both of them going to take a hard lick into the inside wall. Now, I believe that is where the caution is going to come out here tonight for the first time, Gary. Man, this is a game changer.
Yeah, definitely 60 laps of green flag racing there. Really good to see. But yeah, just looked like Casey come down the racetrack a little bit there, made that contact with the 3 car, and both looks like it's going to end their night. So we see some very hungry drivers coming down pit road.
Yep, and I just heard over the radio Michael Atkins has taken his car behind the wall. He is done for the season.
Yeah, done for the night, done for the season, of course.
Oh.
Such a shame to see that as we see these guys coming down pit road here. Waiting on the word from our admins as we're seeing Alan's going to win the race. Cameron's going to come out second off of pit road. Well, maybe not.
No,
I think
GT took
is gonna be
second. Yeah.
close race off of pit road there, and I think Ryan and Scott would agree with me. Being racers, you can even gain a couple extra positions on a guy that you want to get around on pit road.
Oh yeah, for sure. You can.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. You can definitely, if that iRacing pit crew can give you a, 13-second stop, and you're golden. You come off pit road, and also getting up to speed on pit road is vital to where you come off. Depending on if you come out spinning your tires or if you ease onto the gas, you got to find that balance there, of course. But that'll definitely play a factor of where you're going to come out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to pay some bills here for just a moment here. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in there and watching that iRacing advertisement there. Looks like we're still under pacing. Do you guys want to interview anybody here? Not all at once.
I'd say let's go with GT Hawkins.
All right. Go ahead, Scott. You interview him. I'll pull up GT for you.
GT Hawkins, Scott Ramler in the booth. Got a copy?
Yep, I hear you. How's it going?
Doing pretty good. Looks like you've been having a fantastic night out front there. Really have a strong long-run car, making it through 2 green flag pit stops. Tell us how your race is going out there, how you're feeling.
It feels good. I mean, I'm driving naturally. I don't feel like I need to push it, so I guess that's a good place to be in if you're also doing that and being quick. So, yeah, I think the car honestly feels pretty good.
Now, it looks like you got beat out on pit road here by Alan Elwood. Are you worried about having to work your way around him come the drop of the green flag?
Oh, yeah. You always got to be worried about Alan. He's a fast driver, hard to pass, and I know he'll race me hard and clean. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to see how this goes. Get some more green flag laps here.
All right, and it looks like you guys are doubling up with 1 to green. We will let you go. Good luck to you, man. Hopefully we'll talk to you later tonight.
10-4, thank you.
All right, good call there as these guys are doubling up here. I guarantee you down there in that VRA chat, there is going to be some kind of communication as they have the inside lane there. Maybe Cameron might give Alan a little bit of a push here on this restart.
It's always a possibility, and with being able to communicate with your teammate freely, I would not be surprised to see them both make the jump at the same time to try and put GT behind them and just hold them up that little bit more as the run goes on.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, we're here in turn number 3. We're going to let Ryan get him going here on this restart.
All right, coming into 3 and 4, we got Elwood on the inside, Hawkins, who has been leading the entire race on the outside. Pace car taking its time, coming out of 4. And still waiting. There he goes. Pace car is off here, and Elwood on the loud pedal here as we go green once again here at Homestead Miami Speedway.
All right, and of course they're going to be taking 1 and 2 here, VRA, with Alan Elwood and Cameron Hearn. GT going to fall back to that 3rd position. Pretty much our top 10 going to get single file.
Oh, we got 3 wide.
We're going 3
3
wide.
wide coming down the back
Grant.
straightaway.
3 wide. Yes, go ahead. Oh, it looks like more 3 wide. No, back to 2. Go ahead.
All right. Well, these guys are going to make it through turns 3 and 4. They're going to make it 1 lap here. We're going to crank our voices down. We're going to crank the noise up. Here's some crank it up for y'all. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that Crank It Up presented by MaxSpeedTV. Looks like we've got a nice 3-car battle here, sort of kind of for the lead. Looks like Alan Elwood, Cameron Hearn, and GT were actually able to pull away from the front pack during our Crank It Up session here, as we're still seeing guys a little bit side by side, but for the most part, pretty much fanned out.
shout out to Mike Rominger. He's hanging out there too. I'm sure he's still a little bit in the draft, and if stuff they start getting side by side up in front of him, he might enter the battle there too.
Yeah, he definitely might be able to enter that battle there. Everybody running real close. Not really side by side anymore, but nose to tail for sure. Looks like Chris is going to take that middle lane going into turn 1. Chris Seidenfaden in the 12th spot. Looks like Paul's going to try to go underneath Chris here as they exit turn number 2. Not going to be enough for Paul, though. He's going to try to tuck back in line here.
Now, something I would like to
Oh, contact! And Chris saves it. What a save there by Seidenfaden. Oh, Darren Bruce is going to make some contact with the 45. Gary May is going to be behind all this.
That was a mess.
It was a save there by Chris Seidenfaden. That was incredible.
Hey, 2 for 2 on those saves tonight.
I will continue watching here, though. The 10 of Gary May still in traffic.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be able to get that run on the 45 there. Just had to break out my inner Kyle Petty there and saying that was incredible. Had to break that out. But it looks like Chris, he's going to be falling back here now. With a little bit of sideways action like that for you guys, I know that definitely could burn up my tires, but how much of a burning of the tires does that happen right there when you get a little bit sideways like that and have to save the car like that?
Oh, it's absolutely terrible. Now, at a track like this where it's so tight, burning up that right rear a little bit may not be as bad. You really want to be careful with that right front, though. As we see a change in hands for the second position, GT Hawkins has made his way around Cameron Hearn and will move up to P2 behind Alan Elwood.
Now, do you think GT is running really hard here, Scott, or do you think he's still trying to play it cool here?
Well, from what I've been seeing, it looks like he's getting pretty aggressive with these two. He's nearly rear-ended Cameron Hearn a couple times on the entry to 1 as he's looking inside to Allen going into 3.
He's
going to
have
get really tight.
Yeah, they're not going to make contact, but almost. GT really had to back out of that. So we see Cameron all over the back bumper here. As Cameron's going to go to the inside here, go to 1. I can't believe I did that.
Karen Hearn.
It's not Carol.
Might speak
my
to
goodness.
Rick after
Wow.
There's a chime for Medlock there. Side by side for second here going into 3.
Now, as we were saying, if I were in GT's position, he knows he's got a fantastic long-run car. And something I was trying to say earlier is that that caution put us right at the end of lap 64. We can go, we've seen 42 laps on tires. That would put us for the next and potentially the final pit stop just after lap 100, meaning these guys can go 2 long stints to the end if they choose to go for it. So I don't see any real benefit to pushing yourself hard to try and get around people right now, especially if you've got a long run car the way GT does.
Yeah, so you mentioned here around lap 100, that's about 45 to go. So you see the window open up there right around lap 100. I was thinking maybe lap 105 is when we might see guys starting to come in.
Now we got to pass for the lead up here with GT
Yeah,
Hawkins.
looks like GT's going to get right there.
And GT going to go to the inside.
Back on the outside. He's going to send it in a little deeper.
Door to door. Myself and Scott doing some mic door to door here tonight. Scott,
Guys, that was a crazy battle there coming off of turn number 4.
And while we haven't been paying attention, Mike Rominger moves up to P3. Just drove right past Cameron Hearn.
Wow.
Cameron back to 4th. Oh my gosh, guys. You was talking about here, Scott, that, we will, of course, have to pit at least one more time. Is it going to have to be a short pit or a regular pit stop?
The way tires have been burning off here across all the series that I've seen so far, it has to be a 4-tire full fuel pit stop. This isn't something that you want to try and cut short because we're only talking about 1 or 2 laps, which here is about half of a gallon is about 2 laps here. So you really not going to gain anything by cutting that much out of the fuel, the fuel in the pit stops, and I don't even think you can go into increments that small out of the fuel.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Definitely pack it full of fuel, make sure you're saving your tires, and just be there at the end.
Well, as I'm watching it here, Gary, Ryan, you are too. We got Austin Hill going to the inside of the 15 for that 4th spot here. Gary, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to you, but we've got action here up front.
Yeah, we've got a lot of action here up front. So we're seeing Mike Rominger actually going to try to go for that 2nd spot on Alan Elwood here. Looks like Austin Hill going to be able to clear that 15 of Cameron Hearn. So far here tonight, I think as Scott was talking about, when that pit window opens up around lap 100, lap 105, about 40 to go, 45 to go, we're definitely going to see them pit, take that full tire and fuel stop that that Scott was talking about. But I really do think coming to the end of this race, if we get a late caution, maybe even a green, white, checkered, I think these guys will have to pit because they might run out of gas.
Now, I think my eyes might be playing tricks on me, but I think Austin Hill might have found something out, because he has not just dispatched Cameron Hearn, he's also dispatched Alan Elwood and is setting his sights on Mike Rominger. The way that he's going into the corner, I believe he might have the fastest car of this run right now.
Yeah, it looks like Austin has really adjusted, even with that blistered hand. He was talking about that last night in the Truck Series race with us, how that blister was giving him a hard time. Still racing with that tonight. Obviously, he's going to pass for 2nd, but it definitely looks like that 16 car is on a rail right now.
Oh, man, that 16, that 16, Ryan. You know, Austin Hill, we know him from real life, bud. Sorry, Gary, but putting Ryan on the spot here tonight for a real life, NASCAR driver, he's kind of came back up, Ryan. I mean, your thoughts on Hill here for the Xfinity Series?
Well, I know he does race it in real life, and I mean, every great driver can adapt to whatever car he's put in, and he seemed to adapt to this car pretty well too, being in the chase, even though it's not the car he races every weekend. But he's a heck of a driver. He sure has adapted to the Xfinity car, and he might set his sights on the lead here. I can see him working his way up to GT in a few laps.
Yeah, it looks like for the most part, Austin is reeling in GT just a little bit, basically staying at around that 1.2 second gap. But Austin, he does drive the Xfinity car a little bit in real life. He drives it on a limited basis in the 61 car for MBM and Hattori Racing. They kind of combine on that effort there. But definitely Austin has really been able to adapt, especially, even during the quarantine period that we had there where NASCAR was off for a while. Austin was able to, spend most of his time on iRacing. I could definitely tell that has really benefited for him as he's gotten back to the racetrack each and every single week.
And just on that last lap alone, Austin has cut off 0.2 of a second on GT's lead. If you guys have a chance, go to the blimp cam and just look at how different the lines are going into turn 1 between GT and Austin. It seems like Austin dives it in a little bit harder, but he's able to diamond it perfectly in the center and gets that run off.
Yeah, and like you said, it's really important, that diamond of the corner. You really want to get that straighter angle coming out because, like you said, man, you could really get a lot of momentum coming out of these corners. The straighter you can keep that wheel on the exit.
Gary, Ryan, Scott, we are on the blimp cam here, of course, on Austin Hill here. Just seeing the different lines every driver runs. So, those views that you talk about, Scott, they help. We can see it here.
Absolutely. And it's such a fine line here. And what I really think it comes down to is GT, when he was back behind Cameron Hearn and Alan Elwood, was really pushing his front tires. He slid it in behind Cameron a couple of times, was really putting a lot of wheel into it, battling side by side with Alan. And I think it's come back to bite him. Meanwhile, Austin was just kind of sitting there in the back, watching everything happen in front of him. He's letting his tires stay cool. He's staying calm, and that little bit of a difference, that 5 to 6 laps of battling that we were going crazy over, has made the difference now. The 16 is outpacing the 14.
Yeah, by a long shot here. It's down to about 0.7 of a second, a little bit less now, but it's really bit Cameron Hearn and Alan Elwood a little bit as well, as we're seeing Mike Rominger, and now Nicholas Vroman's going to work his way up into the 4th spot. So those VRA cars running 5th, 6th, and 7th now with Cameron Hearn, Alan Elwood, and Jeffrey Creek here. So, like you said, Scott, it's really made that difference, that 5-lap difference, like you were saying. It looks like Garrett Grant's right behind these 3 VRA guys, and Tommy Haynes is right there in 9th, and then rounding out really our top 10 is going to be Eddie Morris, but don't look too far. We talked about Gary May early on in the pre-race. He's right there in that 11th spot, really been working on his stuff, and he's going to try to take that 10th position away from his teammate.
All right, well, Gary, I know, Ryan, you got something to say, but we're going to go ahead and run down through the top 20 here. There's 4 of us. I'm going to go ahead and start us out here. GT Hawkins up front. Austin Hill in 2nd. Mike Rominger 3rd. Vroom Vroom in 4th. Cameron Hearn in 5th. Gary, go ahead. 5 through 10.
6th place here, we've got Alan Elwood. 7th place is going to be Jeffrey Creek. 8th is going to be Garrett Grant. 9th place is going to be Tommy Haynes. Round out that top 10 is going to be Ed Morris. Ryan, go ahead.
And then in 11th, we have Gary May. 12th, we have Bryce Senesac. 13th, we have Paul Irvin. Darren Bruce will be in 14th. And rounding out that top 15, it will be Brandon Freeze. Scott?
All right, sitting in P16 is Blair the Daddy Patterson. P17 will be Todd Cray, who's currently side-by-side with Willie Nelson, who might be going on for that position. Back in 19th will be Danny Ware. P20, Chris Seidenfaden.
All righty, folks. Well, that's the top 20 here. We still got one more pit stops, Gary. I mean, it's got to come down to that. It has to.
Yeah, absolutely. And those mistakes, we were talking about at the beginning of the race here, I think that's going to really be the deciding factor. We're going to see these guys. They already made 1 green flag pit stop. We're going to see them make 1 more here, potentially here in the next 5 to 10 laps or so. How much harder are they going to push it? I think they're going to be a little bit more greedy this time. I think they're going to push it a little harder.
Yeah, I can see them pushing it a little bit harder. As we can see, Austin Hill has completely eliminated the 14's lead and was actually almost side-by-side with him last lap around.
Yeah, but I think Austin's just taking his time here, bud.
I'd have to agree, because he knows now that he's got the tire advantage here. He could just be looking to pressure GT into a mistake as he takes it way low in 3 and 4 to try and get a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe I heard the 2 is going to make a pit stop here. Maybe he's just going to try to work his way around Blair Patterson. Brandon was just letting him go. Blair going to move up into that 15th position. Good run for Blair here tonight.
To the lead here tonight. Oh, and
GT's
just going to barely.
Not quite there.
He almost had to run off the corner. I don't think. I think GT was able to get the better run there, though.
I think what's the better saving grace for GT right now is, in the center of the corner where Austin wants to go to that white line, GT has put his left sides below that seam, and it's not creating that full car length with the room. He's taking about half a car length away, so Austin knows he can't really go around him on the inside. Austin's going to have to try and do a slingshot or something on the outside lane here.
And from what we've seen, the passes on the outside really haven't been happening inside the top 10 positions once they've gotten single filed out and later in a run. Typically, you have to reserve those kind of moves for just after a restart. So GT pulling a really good defensive move here and protecting that bottom.
Yeah, and that's really what you have to do at Homestead. It seems like, yes, this track is multi-groove. Yes, you can move around here and try to find some grip, but at the end of the day, if you're running that bottom lane, it's really quick here around this racetrack. There's just something about it, even in the real world.
Now, something we have not really talked about. One of these drivers just creeped his way into the top 5. That would be Nicholas Vroman in 4th right now. Dustin the VRA cars back there who are now 5th, 6th, 7th. He has worked his way into the top 5. So very good run for Nicholas this run.
Yeah, and Gary May, who was on the back end of the top 10 there, battling for 10th with Ed Morris. He's going to be making a pit stop here. I believe we're also seeing Chris Seidenfaden come down pit road. Ed Morris has come down pit road.
Yep, we're going to be looking at potentially maybe 2 to 3 more laps for the leaders here, and they could make it all the way to the end from where they are right now.
But yeah, and that is not including a green-white checkered, though.
Right, but the big question for me right now is, with GT holding the 16 back, the 16 has had a lot of trouble across all the series that he's been racing with getting onto and off of pit road and in and out of his pit stall. So if GT can keep him behind him while they're going through the pit cycle, I think the 14 will be able to get a clean slate, go back out there, and potentially drive away from that 16, who's had the opportunity to capitalize on the 14 being stuck behind the VRA cars.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're seeing Tommy Haynes, he's going to be making a pit stop here. So some of our leaders in the top 10, back into the top 10 here, starting to make their way down
pit road. It looks like Kern, Alwood, as I call him, Garrett Grant, Tommy Haynes, and Vroom Vroom. Yep.
And I think Brandon Freeze just said he's going to be coming down pit road here. So now with Austin, has he been overdriving the pits, Scott, or has he been really underdriving it?
From what I could tell, he's underdriving pit entry. Where he's really having trouble, though, is getting out of his pit box from a stop, because the tires are spinning. Like, if you spin up your tires way too much, you'll end up losing a bunch of speed as he goes to the inside of the 14, going into 3. Let's see if he decides to duck into pit road here, if he's going to try and complete the pass. Looks like they're both going to come in at the same time.
Well, it looks like a good pit stop there for good pit entry for both of these drivers here. I think he heard you.
That was
insert mouth.
We will blame Scott on this one. 16 down pit road as well as the 14. Go ahead, Gary.
Well, and I think and to your point, Scott, he did struggle last night, but I think he learned from his mistakes last night, and into tonight, he was able to improve on that. And it looks like the 8 car is going to be making a pit stop here.
Paul Irvin.
And that's going to be our leader as of now.
Now who's going to
91 is also going to be making a pit stop here, as we're seeing Tommy Haynes going around these guys here.
Now 45, contact! Whoa!
45 and the 8 make big contact there, and it's going to send the 8 sideways.
Caution will fly. We caught that live.
That just messed everything up.
No, that came out perfectly for
everything.
the 16 and the 14.
We caught that live, though, Scott, on MaxSpeedTV. So go ahead.
Let's go to that replay.
Oh, yeah, we're on the replay.
As soon as you get done with the replay of that, see if you can go back to seeing the 16 and the 14 come out. They were literally side by side with all the guys at pit about 2 laps ago. And if the caution had come out about 3 or 4 seconds later, they'd be back in like 5th or 6th position.
Well, here we're going to see the contact with the 8 and the 45.
And the 45 did take blame to that incident. Chris Seidenfaden.
Okay.
He did not hear Paul say that he was coming down pit road. And just wasn't just that lapse adjustment. Again, that communication Scott was talking about, that really made the mistake right there for Paul. And Paul was trying to save that car, and ultimately sometimes you just got to stop the car in order to
I'm seeing a little bit of 4 wide back here as the 14 comes off of pit road. Got that 4 wide, 3 wide action. You see the 16 of Austin Hill here. But, oh my Lord, this is going to change everything up here tonight. Gary?
Yeah, it looked like there were still quite a few cars on the lead lap too. Gonna have quite a few rave rounds here actually for tonight. Just want to do a little recap on lap 59. Our first caution, they called that a racing incident between the 3 and the 11. Second caution here tonight, lap 105. They're going to rule the 45, Chris Seidenfaden, at fault after contact with the 8. And so the 45 will be receiving the EOL.
All right. So the 45, yes, EOL here tonight. 2 cautions here so far, but it's been a great race, Gary, Ryan, and Scott. We see Blair going to be coming out pit road here. That's going to give the lead back up to Austin Hill here. This has been an awesome race. I mean, green flag pit stops, even though we've had 2 cautions. Oh, man. I can only imagine what's going to be in store for the final laps here tonight.
Yeah, I'd say we're going to see an absolute knockdown drag out. These guys know they can make it to the end on fuel. The question is, when and how hard do you want to push the tires that are on your car?
Yeah, definitely going to be a key here. The closing laps. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, and another question. I know we were talking about this earlier a little bit. Cautions might breed cautions, or will we have a long run to the finish? Will there be a caution? And when will that come out? If it does, that will throw a wrench in whatever plans you might have if that caution comes out with only a few to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Just in the closing laps here of the finale, Austin Hill's going to get the lead back. So it's going to be a good battle, like you guys have been saying. I think between the 16 and the 14. What does the 95 of Roman have? What does the 10 have? Gary May, he's going to be in the 4th position here. Garrett Grant going to be in 5th. I think we've got time for an interview, or are they doubling up here? Can't tell.
Looks like they are still single file at the moment.
You want to pull up somebody for an interview? Anyone at all?
Let's bring up Seidenfaden. Or was he in the last one? Yeah, he was in the last rack.
Yeah, he was in the last rack. Let's not bring him up. That's not a good idea. Don't make that rookie mistake.
Yeah.
Oh, why don't we pull Roman up here?
Yeah, why not? Let's go ahead and pull Nicholas up here. Scott, you want to interview him? I can take it here. Anybody? I'll
give him to Ryan if we could.
Oh, okay. Ryan, you'll take it.
Yeah, let's do it. Nicholas Roman, you got a copy, buddy.
Yes, sir.
So you have worked your way up into the top 3 tonight. Man, how did you do that?
Through a strategy here, man. I set out during this caution, just playing a little track position here at the end.
Yeah, for sure. Because we were watching the battle for the lead, and then I look on my my results here, and we got Nicholas Roman in 4th, and so you got by all those VRA guys, and that's pretty cool. So what are your plans for the rest of your race?
Rest of the race, man, it's just survival. So I think it's gonna be a good show here the last 34 laps.
Yeah, for sure. Well, do you think you got anything for GT and Austin up there?
Those guys have been really good on a long run. We'll see what I got. Hopefully I got something.
Yeah, for sure. You're for sure still a factor, and as you're doubling up here, we wish you the best of luck here at the end of the night.
All right, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we're going to go ahead and move him back down to prime time. We got 1 lap to go before this restart here, gentlemen. We're going to let Scott go ahead and take the restart here.
Ooh, okay. So, coming back into 3 and 4. Potentially, actually, you know what? I'm not gonna throw that flag. I'm not gonna jinx him like that. So what we're gonna do? Round in 3 and 4, Austin Hill, GT Hawkins on the front row. Vroom Vroom Vroman running P3 and Gary May in P4. We talked about how these guys could come up through the field. They have. We're gonna see what they have for the leaders at the end who have been running top 3 all day. Austin Hill gets on the loud pedal. We're green with 34 laps to go.
Yeah, and Austin got a whale of a jump right there on that restart. He's going to be taking the lead here, going to be hugging that bottom lane. GT going to fall behind him, but they're side by side for third and fourth on back.
Oh, blinker out there.
Yeah, it looks like
Gary May with a little bit of a blink
problem.
Gary
May. There we go.
I'm
getting real
a
tight
stroke.
back here. Allen going to be working through this field now. He's going to be up into the 6th spot. Going to try to go for 5th here on Bryce Sinisek going into turn 1.
Oh, we got contact. Car around.
And Cameron's around. He's in the wall.
Oh, our championship point leader is into the wall and around. And so we're going to go to the MaxSpeedTV replay here. Going into turn number 1. I'm sure we'll see it here in a minute. Some contact here.
Overcooks the corner and slides up into the 15 above him. Looks like he got loose a little bit, actually.
Yeah, looks like when he hit the brakes, they were trying to get away from him and got loose, and he had to turn a little bit right.
Now the question is, how is this going to turn out? If it doesn't look like the 15 got in the wall that hard, but we all know that little bit of damage can make a huge difference as far as speed later in the run.
Yeah, absolutely. But it looks like Cameron's car is okay for the most part. Definitely has some left rear damage. Is definitely going to have to try to repair this car under the pits here.
Alrighty, folks, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. Maybe a little bit longer than normal, but we will be right back. Stay tuned side by side here tonight.
All right, well, we are back underway here under caution. Going to be interesting to see if the pits open this time to see if anybody decides to... Oh, wait. Sorry about that. We're back live.
I was going to say, you're a bit behind there.
I'm a little behind.
Austin Hill, in second place, has opted to go for fresh tires.
Which is a very interesting call there.
So he has dropped all the way back to P9 as it's currently showing. Could update for me again.
Yeah, it looks like our top 5 all stayed out. Looks like Gary May and Nicholas Roman and Garrett Grant might have taken 2 there. But it looks like Austin's going to be the first guy here with 4 fresh tires. So this restart, as Josh would normally say, it's going to get a little extreme here with the different strategies, the old tires, the 2 tires, and new tires here.
Yeah, for sure. We've seen Austin make it up to the front before. I'm sure you can do it again, especially with fresh tires here. But depending on the cautions again, if cautions keep coming out, cautions after cautions, it may shake things up here.
Yeah, absolutely. We are getting ready. I don't know. You guys want to pull up anybody for an interview? Oh, wait. I think they're one to go, aren't they?
They are going to be coming to one to go very shortly.
Looks like they're still pacing. Do we want, guys, you want to pull for one more interview here?
Let's get
Trying
Bryce
to
up
think.
here.
You want to talk to Bryce? All right, I can bring him up here. We'll let you interview him, Ryan. You're going to be the interview guy.
Gotcha. Bryce Sinisek, you got a copy, buddy.
Yep.
So you're currently running in third today. What do you got planned for the rest of the race here?
Just hopefully top 5, top 10. I at least want to finish close to closing up to GT. Seems pretty fast. I don't think I have anything for him. So if I can at least stay close to him, then I can solidify second place in the championship. So kind of just the aim here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you've been working your way up through the field all night and looking pretty solid as you did it too. You were, no pressure, but you were me and Josh's picks tonight to win. So, if we keep getting cautions like this, do you think you might have a shot on the restarts?
Yeah, it's tough to say. Like I've been playing around with my wheel settings for this week, and what I have it set to, I don't have enough practice. So I'm like need it to be more to what I've been running all season, and this is kind of just like a what the heck, see what would happen type of deal. So we'll see. Just have to let things play out.
Yeah, for sure. As you grid up here, any sponsors you got to thank for tonight?
Just obviously gotta thank BK Paints for all the getting our paint schemes out for this season. Thanks everyone for prime time. Had a real good season, so hoping to finish this one off strong.
All right, for sure, man. Well, good luck to you, and yeah, go get them.
Thank you.
All right, and of course that was Bryce Sinisek. Ryan, we're going to let you take this next restart here, bud, as they're going into turn number 3.
10-4, all right. So on the front row, we have GT Hawkins, Alan Elwood, Bryce Sinisek, Ed Morris, Willie Nelson, Gary May, Nicholas Roman, Garrett Grant, Austin Hill, and Jeffrey Creek are your top 10. Pace car coming out of turn 4 here. It's going to make that late dive onto pit road here. And waiting on GT to hit that gas. There he goes. Green flag once again at Homestead Miami Speedway. We're racing.
Yes, sir. We are racing once again here tonight at the Homestead Miami Speedway. GT got a pretty solid run. No issues through our top 4. Again, those guys stayed out. Everybody else is either on 2 or 4 brand new Goodyear tires. As they come down off of turn number 2, going into turn 3, Josh, I think you have a little bit of an announcement for us.
Well, I'm a little choked up here tonight. I had some breaking news. Gary mentioned it to us. We lost a member of Extreme here as the caution flies. But we're not going to worry about the caution. L. Bryce Whitson Jr., unfortunately, has lost his battle with cancer here today. We are going to go ahead and take a few laps here. Dedication to L. Bryce Whitson Jr. So let's go ahead and do that here tonight on MaxSpeedTV.
Yeah, we got you, man.
All right, we are back here with heavy hearts, of course, back at the Miami Speedway here, as we're getting ready for yet again another restart. Of course, rest in peace to Bryce there and his family. Their thoughts and prayers, of course, with everybody here at MaxSpeedTV and, of course, with Extreme Motorsports 99.com. He was a very big and advocate and one of our best members here as a part of this league. On lap 121, guys, we've got another restart yet again. It looks like with these last couple cautions, staying out has really been the name of the game and has really paid off for our top four.
That it has, but the question is, if we go green all the way here to the end, it's going to be about 20 laps. Making those tires last 20 laps as compared to somebody like Austin Hill who just put fresh tires on his car. What's it going to be, especially with 9 cars ahead of him, to work around?
Yeah, it's really going to be tough for them. I think Austin, of course, he's the professional. He's the only professional that we've got in this series. It's going to be interesting to see him try to work his way through the field. My concern is for him, how much is he going to use his tires? Because he's got to go around 8 guys, whether they're on old tires or on those 2 fresh ones. Could the run even out a little bit?
There's a potential that it could as Austin makes his way through the field. Something that I noticed is that if you are able to just hold yourself back those first couple of laps, these guys are going to start fighting hard. The guys that stay out on older tires may not have the pace that some of the guys behind them do, and you might be able to take advantage of those guys squabbling and take them 3 wide and just get 2 passes done in 1 move.
Yeah, and we have seen the effects of new tires tonight, especially in between runs with those green flag pit stops, those people who haven't pitted yet and the people who have. And if you can blow by someone like that, especially if we get a green flag run here from 9th on back, they're going to be golden. Yeah,
they're definitely going to be golden here. Just want to do a quick recap here. That last caution lap 116, it was a self-spin by the 8. He's going to get an EOL to start on this next restart here. So we're going to get them going here. They're double foul. I'll take control of this next restart here, guys. If you don't mind, we're going to get ready here into turn number 3. Going to be coming to 21 to go here for this restart. Chase implications on the line. I think Cameron's really going to be able to pull away and be our champion here this evening. But really, it's going to be a battle for second on back in points here between GT and Bryce Sinisak. Pace car is going to be looking to make the dive off onto pit road here. And it looks like GT is going to be back on the loud pedal here. Green flag back in the air. We're back underway at Homestead.
Big checkup.
Side by side. A big checkup here on that inside lane. It looks like Bryce on those older tires didn't get to go. They're 3 wide back here trying to avoid stacking up on each other. GT going to be able to take the lead here as they exit turn number 2.
Down the backstretch once again. GT under fire from it looks like the 5 Alan Elwood here. And he's going to drive it to the inside into the 3 and 4, and GT's going to clear him with that run on the outside.
But he drove it in too hard into turn 3. Here comes Alan Elwood back to the inside. He's going to lead this lap.
And we've seen Alan's been so good on these short runs, was able to hold up GT there for a little while.
We
get
loose.
Gary May sideways into 1, saves it. Still a little bit
Still
sideways.
a little bit loose. Everybody's going to have to get around him here. Good save there by the 10 of Gary May.
Now, where has Austin Hill ended up in all of this? It appears that he is currently in P11. He got caught up in that stack up on the inside
back up to
line.
P9, actually. I got the live timing and scoring here. He was able to make those positions back up. But going to be interesting to see if he's going to have any more slowdowns like that coming up through the rest of this field. Side by side here between Willie Nelson and Darren Bruce, I do believe. Willie going to try to get that run on the high side.
As Garrett Grant goes to the inside of Nicholas Vroman right behind him. Vroman giving him no room into 3.
Yeah, no room into 3 there. Real tight. Garrett still on the bottom. And there's no grip down there we've noticed in these Xfinity cars. Is Roman going
gonna
to try to
take
make it 3 wide? 3 wide down the
Three
front
wide.
straightaway.
Here we go.
Now, how's he going to be able to get this to stick?
Oh,
He dives
they're
it in
gonna make
hard.
it
He holds
somehow.
his line. There's still 3 wide.
Still 3
Can't
wide
quite
back here.
clear the 27.
Oh, it's going to be real tight here off turn 2.
And Garrett
Oh,
Grant comes back.
Oh,
to
my
check.
God,
They're gonna
they're
wreck
really
it.
got into
Oh,
it.
got
They're
four
wrecking
cars.
Big
Oh,
wreck
no.
back here. No
Oh, my
caution.
goodness.
No
No
caution at
caution.
all. Not yet.
They're still off the track. We'll see if we get one here in a second, but at the moment we stay green. We now have a 4-car breakaway at the front with Bryce Senizak bringing up the back and Alan Elwood in the lead.
Yes, and it looks like really our top 3, top 4, like you had mentioned, Ed Morris hanging on to the back end of these guys. Battle here for the lead. We're seeing Austin Hill back up into that 7th position.
And he's got some significant front end damage there. He rear-ended one of those spinning cars, and I think that might play a factor here as we get to the end of the race.
Yes, yeah, he does have a little bit of damage on that Toyota Supra. Back into that
Car in
8th
the
position.
wall.
One more car in the wall. I think it's Willie Nelson. Actually, I think it was Blair Patterson. Gonna look here at a replay. It looks like Michael Thwaites and Blair Patterson make contact there. And that sent Blair up into the wall. Coming off of turn 4, but it looks like the battle here is still for the lead. GT not going away from Alan Elwood.
Look at Brandon Fries. He's looking to crack that top 5 here.
Yeah, Brandon Fries looking to crack that top 5. Another good run. He had a good run at Michigan, finished up into the top 5, top 10. So Brandon looking to finish off the season strong. Maybe try to get a top 5 out of this. He does have fresher tires than Mike Rominger and the pack.
As I keep an eye on GT here, he's really burning up his tires on the entry into 1 and into 3. I'm wondering if he's burning them up too hard. He may not have anything for Allen here at the end if he keeps driving the way he's going.
Yeah, and that's really going to mess up his tires there for sure. GT trying to get a run. See if he could close in. But I think that car to watch, it's going to be interesting as we're seeing Brandon Fries run down Mike here a little bit. Could we possibly see a guy like Brandon maybe pull off the win? But I don't think he's got enough laps left.
I was going to say, I don't think he's got enough laps left to get up here with these guys. At the best, he might end up with a P4. Even catching the 7 car would be hard at this point.
Yeah,
these
absolutely.
These tires up front are gonna. We were saying he has fresher tires than everybody else up here. These tires falling off in the next few laps, that might play a factor too. We see him catching the 9 of
Mike
Mike
Rominger
Rominger.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it looks like at some point those tires are going to start to even out.
That is correct, and something else you have to think of earlier in the race, everybody was set on their own strategy. Now, we're less than 10, or just about 10 to go, and nobody's going to be given any quarter. So you're going to have to fight the guy in front of you for the position. How
Even
much
these
is he going to
teammates
be held up?
Yeah, absolutely. Even these teammates here between Cameron Hearn and Jeff Creek, looks like Jeff Creek finally did let him go, but they were running each other hard side by side. And I feel like with teammates, Scott, you run your teammates a little extra hard than you really do the rest of the field.
And I could absolutely see that. Once you build rapport with somebody, you're practicing with them week in and week out. You do your drills, as you would call them, and you learn just how hard you can push your teammates. So you can push them that much harder than somebody that's on another team. So, yeah, I could say you definitely push them harder than other people, especially if they're not giving you a little bit of leeway.
Yeah, and honestly, that makes you a better driver, too. That really improves your ability. Say you guys do make contact, it helps you improve your car control and to save the race car. It helps you realize, hey, what kind of room can I make with the rest of the competitors to maybe even set up a pass a little bit easier, as we're seeing Paul Swervin Irvin back here trying to make a pass on that 54. Not going to be for position as Paul is 2 laps down. Tommy Haynes in the thick of this, though. He's going to try to take that top 10 spot from Jeffrey Creek. He's got to worry about his teammate a couple laps down, while also worrying about Jeffrey Creek in that 54 machine.
They're once again side by side into the corner. Paul Irvin looks like he's going to clear him here. It's going to be tight coming out of the corner.
But he is in the lucky dog spot. Oh, it's getting real tight between these two. And it looks like he's trying to use Todd Cray as a pick. Here comes Tommy Haynes to the bottom. He's going to take 10th away from Jeffrey Creek. He's also going to try to take away the spot from Todd Cray. He's going to be able to get him here at the line. Will he be able to clear him going into one?
We've also got a battle here for the 5th position. Bryce Senizak has fallen like a rock. Brendan Fries just passed him for the 5th position into one.
Now he's going to be setting his sights on that 9 car. I think he might be able to get to him, but I don't know if he's going to be able to make that pass.
Very true, as Alan Elwood has begun to gap GT Hawkins. Like we said, you drive those tires hard in the beginning, it's going to be that much harder to do something come the end of the race.
Yeah, absolutely here. I'm trying to see how much closer that Brandon Fries in the 2 car is really trying to reel in Mike Rominger. I don't think he's going to have enough time to do it, but he could at least get a 5th spot here tonight, which for Brandon, I believe that would be his best Xfinity finish.
Something else we might have to think of is the 7 looks a little bit slower through 3 and 4 than the 9 car, so if they start battling, the 2 could very easily come up here and end up getting a podium.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. And what a good way at Homestead, end of the season, finishing on a high note than talking to us geezers up here in the booth.
Well, we got Cameron Hurd. He just blew by the 09 of Senizak too.
Yes, and Cameron does have the freshest tires pretty much out of everybody in this group. Him and Brandon are on the same step of their tires here, about 19 laps. Of course, Cameron going to get up into that 2nd position. He's going to be reeling in the 2 car here at Brandon pretty quick as he's going to send it into turn number 1. He's going to be to the inside of him coming down the back straightaway. Side by side battle, yeah, for these
Ed
guys
Morris
here.
and Rominger.
Battle for 3rd. Here comes Mike to the inside. I think he's going to be able to get it. Mike is trying to crowd him a little bit, see if he can create a little bit of side draft there, but not going to be able to get it done. Mike is going to take the 3rd position away. And that's just going to reel in Ed Morris, Cameron Hearn, and Brandon Fries here battling for that 4th position. Going to slug it out of here. As Cameron's going to get to the inside of Brandon Fries. Brandon's going to fall back to that 6th position. Brandon going to be setting his sights now on the 7 of Ed Morris. Coming to 3 laps to go here at the line. 3 laps left in the season. 4.5 miles to go.
If GT's going to start pushing, he has to start doing it now. He took a big chunk out of Allen's lead there going through 1 that time, but he's pushing up toward the exit of 2, keeps it out of the wall, and gains a little bit of time.
Now, is there any advantage? Is it possible to cool your tires in the middle of a run like that and be able to gain some ground back?
It is very possible to do that. I believe GT might have been hanging back just a little bit to try and cool his tires off for a last-second run. As they come to 2 to go, GT really dives it into 1 again, gets to within 2 car lengths. Allen had to back up the corner a little bit, and they're going to be that much closer.
And they're coming up on some traffic here. There's some traffic with this group now. I think they're going to be closing in on the 95, I think.
Will this lap car play a fact? Sorry.
Yeah, and it looks like Nick might play a role here into the finish here.
Coming to the white flag.
Possibility. Coming to the white flag this time.
Wow.
1 lap to go in the Extreme Motorsports 99 Xfinity Series season, and it's going to come down to an absolute barn burner. GT dove it in too hard. Allen's going to get the run off of 2.
He's going to be able to get around that lap car. But I don't think he's going to have anything for him. It's going to be Alan Elwood's night, I think, unless he really makes a mistake here coming into the entrance of turns 3 and 4 here. Alan going to be able to keep it to that seam. GT is going to be fading to the back a little bit here. Coming off of turn number 4 for the Rick Bell's Custom Rigs Xfinity Series finale. Alan Elwood's going to be your winner. GT Hawkins second, and followed by Mike Rominger is going to take our third place position here.
And while the win is some big news, the bigger news, finishing in P4, your Xfinity Series champion, Cameron Hearn, in the 15 for VRA.
Absolutely. We're going to go ahead and play a quick commercial break. Going to get these guys up here for the post-race show and to interview our champion. All right, and we are back here for the MaxSpeedTV post-race show here, wrapping things up for the season. I believe we're going to interview our third-place guy, Mike Rominger, and I believe Ryan's caught up with him.
Mike Rominger, you got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, a heck of a run. Started second, finished third. I'd say that's a pretty good night. What were your thoughts on the race?
I think it was a pretty good race. I mean, I wish it would have went green. There a couple, cautions before the end, but, it is what it is.
Yeah, for sure. We did have a few cautions to finish out that race. But, you were running about sixth, fifth in those closing laps. You ended up bringing it up to third. Do you think you would have had anything for GT and Allen up there?
Well, I would have pretty good shot if I would have started further up in the running order there on that last restart. But yeah, I think I had one or two lap fresher tires, so I could have made it interesting anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Well, any sponsors you got to thank for tonight?
Nope.
All right, buddy. Well, that's a great finish, great race overall, and hopefully see you next season.
All right, thank you.
We'll see. We'll see you tomorrow night here, Mike. Good run here tonight. Way to cap off the season, bud.
Thanks, guys.
All right, and second place, of course, tonight going to be GT Hawkins, and I believe old Scotty Rambler is caught up with GT.
GT, you got a copy? Hey, man, it looked like you had the fastest car out there all night long. What was it going to take for you to get past Allen?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know if I could have. He was steadily pulling on me. I mean, we were pretty even, I guess, but us who were driving there at the end, that probably contributed to that. But no, a good win to him, and it was fun racing. The battle for the preferred line is really interesting when it's not all the way on the bottom, because the inside car wants to push up a little bit and take that groove, and then the outside car wants to pitch you down all the way on the bottom where you don't have as much grip. So that was an interesting dynamic tonight, and it was a lot of fun kind of deciding who's going to take it, you know.
Well, man, you ended up coming home P2. Fantastic way to end out the season. Who do you have to thank for putting everything on here for you?
Yeah, thanks to East Coast Motorsports, GTR Simulator, Extreme Motorsports, Rick Bell's Custom Rigs for sponsoring the series, MaxSpeedTV, all my friends for watching. I appreciate it very much, and see you next season.
All right, brother. See you next season.
See ya.
And of course, GT, we'll see you tomorrow night, bud. Congratulations on P2. We'll see you later on.
Thanks, Gary. Have a good night.
You too, bud. All right, and that's going to bring it to our winner here this evening, Alan Elwood. I've caught up here with him in Victory Lane. Alan, you got a copy?
Gotcha, Gary.
Well, bud, I mean, you started third here tonight. You never really left the top three much, if at all, here this evening. Talk about your race and talk about the car.
Yeah, needless to say, I mean, like, we had the short run speed, but there for the longest time we were struggling long run, Cameron and I. Jeff actually coming in tonight, he has kind of had a break going on, and he came in strong just out of the box. So we were trying to figure out like necessarily what we were doing differently, and there toward the end of the race we kind of figured out how to maybe drive the car a little bit differently to get the car to rotate on older tires, and it paid off. Finally being able to get out in front of GT and pull away early in the race. It didn't seem like that was going to ever be possible. So just trying to figure out the car over the course of the race, and it finally paid off.
Yeah, absolutely. You've really been running strong here. The mile and a half overall, you're going to be getting your, what is this, your second win in Xfinity this season. Talk about that last couple restarts there where basically from fifth on back, made pit stops there for at least two tires. Were you concerned at all about them coming up through the front if it did go green?
We were a little bit, because we knew that like Austin was going to be super fast. It seemed like had the best long run speed overall out of anybody tonight, and so we thought maybe with him coming in and getting a couple lap fresher tires might have been a bit of a difference, because it definitely is here. But I think some chaos happened behind us, and that kind of hindered any people on fresher tires probably coming up through the field. So we thought about it, but figured in the end, like, when those guys pitted, I had only ran a couple laps on my tires. So I was like, well, I'll just go ahead and stay out, get the track position back, and see what we can do. So, yeah, I mean, it definitely paid off.
Well, and that track position definitely did pay off for you tonight. You're able to keep it up front. You and GT both there at the end of the race. Tomorrow night, we go to Homestead again for the Cup Series, the Rick Motec Cup Series. Is there anything at all that you can take, what you learned tonight in this Xfinity car, that you could take into tomorrow night in the Cup car?
I would say the only thing that you could probably take over to tomorrow night would be the line that you need to run around here, because it seems like pretty much any car or any vehicle that you drive around Homestead, you basically have to run the same line. Other than that, there's not really much that I think you can really learn from here to take over there, just with the different packages and everything. So I think you will have to probably take care of the tires a little bit and not try to just overdrive the car too much and carry too much speed early in the run. Otherwise, you'll burn it up pretty quick. So maybe take that over there too. But looking forward to it, and hopefully we'll get the team championship ready to go tomorrow night and celebrate that way.
Yeah, pop the champagne and everything like that for sure. Well, just want to wish you congratulations here. Any final thoughts and thank yous you want to give tonight as we let you go celebrate the dub?
Yeah, just first off, with the season being concluded here, Rick Bell Custom Rigs for sponsoring the Xfinity Series this season. It was awesome having those guys on board and giving us this full schedule that we could participate in and battle each other. It's been an awesome season. Appreciate you guys up here in the booth for everything that you guys do all season long and bringing the races to the fans out there that tune in every week and cheer us on. So appreciate you fellas up here. Abruzzi being on the cars each and every week. Looking for, obviously a strong outing this season, tomorrow night as well, but hopefully moving into next season and beyond. We love the relationship we have with Abruzzi, so can't thank them enough. And, everybody at VRA, Cameron winning the championship tonight in the Xfinity Series and, us being the team championship the way that we're running. Just can't thank my guys enough for sticking with us this season and proud of everybody's efforts. And then lastly, my family, my wife, everybody that lets me, do this racing thing. It's awesome to come out here and lay down some laps and come away with a victory.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll let you go celebrate your W here tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thank you, Gary.
All right. Well, we're going to bring up our champion here this evening. Finish a P4 right where he started. Cameron, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, bud. Well, you're the champion, man. How's it feel?
No, it's awesome. It's a lot of hard work went into this. Thank all my great teammates at BRA for sticking with me through the season. We had a lot of good finishes. Just trying to calm me down when things didn't go my way. But first, I just found out about Bryce Whitson Jr. passing away, which is a huge loss. He was a great person to race with. It's crazy that you race with these guys, you have a relationship with them, and to hear that. He battled hard. I think he was going with leukemia for 3 years, and he was trying everything. So he's in my prayers, and this is some tough news to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Cancer sucks at the end of the day. And, at the end of this, outside of this iRacing thing, we're all human. We all have our struggles and that kind of deal. But appreciate you wishing your condolences there to the Whitson family. But, brother, man, you didn't really struggle this season. Out of 15 races, you got 14 top 10s out of this deal. Just tell us about your season a little bit. Was there any type of struggles at all throughout the season for you?
Yeah, I think tonight was a battle. GT was super fast at the beginning of the run, and me and Alan were trying to figure out what he's doing differently. And then we just tried a different line, running pretty hard in the corner, getting on the brakes pretty hard, and the car kind of hooked. And you didn't have to put a lot of will into it, so you kind of save your tires. And we kind of figured that out probably last 50 laps. And luckily, we got some cautions, kind of helped us out. I got an incident and stuff, but able to finish fourth. And Alan was able to get by GT and hold him off at the end. And that's one thing about us is, as the race goes on, we try to learn the track changes. If someone's faster than you, figure out what they're doing. So that's what we're really good at. And Alan's been fast all years. I had some bad luck, and it's good to see him bring home the win.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, tomorrow night we come here for the Rick Motec Cup Series. Anything that you have learned here tonight, other than maybe the line or maybe tire management, anything that you can learn from this Xfinity car for Cup car tomorrow?
I have no idea. The cars are totally different. This thing did not turn from the get-go. I felt like it was tight from lap one and only got worse. Cup cars high downforce, as you know. Maybe the line will be the same as it was last night. You can actually drive it a little lower. But I think it's going to be one of those things you kind of have to learn what you can and can't do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, any final thoughts, shout-outs, thank yous you want to give as we let you go celebrate your fourth place here tonight and, of course, the championship for the Xfinity Series here?
Oh, yeah. Rick Bell's Custom Rigs for sponsoring the series. Abruzzi for sticking with us all throughout the season, sponsored all the cars. My great teammates, VRA. Keeping Bryce Whitson's family in prayers. This great guy, and just battle a lot. And it's just one of those things that kind of, it brings everything back down to earth. And cancer sucks, like you said. So again, his family's my prayers, and I can't imagine what they're going through.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've all got our own struggles every day, and definitely hate to hear this about the Winston family, like you said, brother. We'll let you go celebrate this championship here tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow night for the Rick Motec Cup Series.
All right, thank you.
All right. Well, pending any admin situations that we got going on here, I think these are basically going to be the final results here for this last race of the season. We're going to go over here. I'm going to break it down with you guys. We're going to go by tens. I like that. It's an even number here. First place tonight, of course, going to be Alan Elwood. Going to be taking his second win here of the season. Second place going to be GT Hawkins. Third place going to be Mike Rominger. Fourth is going to be Cameron Hearn. Fifth place going to be Ed Morris. Sixth place, Tommy Haynes. Good run for him tonight. Another good run for Brandon Freeze as well. Going to finish seventh here. Danny Ware going to finish eighth. Ninth is going to be Bryce Sinisak. And rounding out our top 10 is going to be Jeffrey Creek. Ryan?
Taking that 11th spot will be Gary May in the 10 car. David Elliott in the 42, taking 12th. Todd Cray in the 13th position today. Austin Hill falling back to 14th after a solid run all night. Tom M. finishing 15th. Chris Seidenfeld finishing 16th. Blair Patterson finishing 17th. P18 goes to Garrett Grant. P19 is Nicholas Roman. And rounding out the top 20 is Paul Irvin.
Finishing 21st, 3 laps down, will be the 12 of Michael Thwaites. 22nd, Casey Duncan. 23rd, Logan Keiss. 24th, Willie Nelson. 25th, Darren Bruce. And rounding out the field will be Michael Atkins Jr. in 26th.
Yes, and of course, shout out to our admins every week that put up with the drivers and us, of course, throughout the season. Calvin Herring, Brent Cool, and Jacob Lee. Before I turn it over to Josh, I just wanted to give my final thoughts here tonight. Just wanted to give a shout out once again to the Whitson family as they're going through this loss. It's with heavy hearts that, from everyone here at ExtremeMotorsports99.com and MaxSpeedTV, our deepest condolences and prayers to their family. His involvement in the league and his fight with cancer has not gone unnoticed. It has inspired and uplifted many teammates, competitors, and broadcast personalities alike. Josh, final words and thoughts for you.
Well, thank you, Gary, Ryan, and Scott, for, of course, coming up here in the booth, handling things here tonight at the beginning, and, of course, the breaking news with Bryce Woodson Jr. and family. Our thoughts, prayers, shout-outs to the family. Of course, it's hitting me really hard, and I'm sure it's hitting everybody at Extreme hard tonight. But tomorrow night, we will have the Rick Motec Cup Series here at Homestead for the series finale as well. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in here tonight. And, of course, the condolences from everybody out there. We do appreciate it. But until tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, with myself, Joshua Medlock, and Chris Scala, Gary, Brian, Scott, again, thank you so much here tonight. Until then, stay safe and have a good night.